What is going on, everybody? Red Velvet's here. My setup's a little different. I'm in a hotel room, and it's a little hard to do all that and all this in a hotel room. So, doing my best. I don't have my normal setup, and I'm here doing my best. I'm here. So, I hope everybody is having a great Friday morning. We are in Birmingham, Alabama. Paint me at Birmingham. Sorry, Tracy Lawrence. Don't go after me for that. I sing that every time I come down here. We're on our way to Gulf Shores, Alabama. Have a week of fun in the sun with the family, but we still got business to take care of. We've got wrestling to talk about. It's been busy. It's been a busy, crazy week. But real quick, before we get started, I want to thank the people that make this possible, our sponsors. So thank you again, sponsors. Wabash Valley Plumbing, Everhope Co., Stitched Embroidered Apparel, Peak Performance Gym, and RJ's Formal Wear. Thank you. Also want to thank our subscribers on Facebook. These people pay because they like us that much. 99 cents a month, less than a cup of coffee, unless you're at the Drury Inn. There's your shameless plug. Free coffee at the Drury Inn. But for 99 cents a month, you can support my daughter's Smoke Too Many Cigarettes. But for less than a cup of coffee, you can support the Diner Pod. So there's our shameless plugs. Real quick, we have a new segment we're going to add, and here it is. Today in pro wrestling history, June 6th is today the 6th. Yes, June 6th, 1997, ECW WrestlePalooza. 1997. Don't know if I said that. I'm going to say it again because, my mind is, I had to drive for like 10 hours, so I'm a little tired. But ECW World Television Championship. Taz defeats Shane Douglas to win the belt via submission in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. He beat the stipulation. Stipulation was he had to win in under 3 minutes, or else if he failed, he would be banned for 90 days from ECW. So there is your Today in Pro Wrestling History. We're going to get started. We have SmackDown from last Friday. Naomi defeated Jade Cargill and Nia Jackson in Money in the Bank qualifier. And then JC Mateo defeats R-Truth in what was R-Truth's final WWE match. The news broke that he was released, and kind of hit me right here, because R-Truth, very good entertainer. Very athletic. The dude's 52 years old. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yes, he is 52 years old. It's unfortunate, but maybe we'll see him in AEW or in TNA, or he's on TikTok if you want to follow along on TikTok. Also, Carlito was released. Carlito just won the World Wrestling Council heavyweight title this past weekend, and I was like, cool, he's going to bring that WWC title to WWE. And no, he got released. So maybe he knew ahead of time. It's like, I'm going back to Puerto Rico. You're going to win. But I don't know. It's unfortunate. TKO is different than WWE under the VKM reign. VKM had his own personal issues that may or may not. I don't know. He had his own thing. He ran the company a little different. Yeah, they still had budget cuts. They still released people. But I feel like TKO is just this big corporate conglomerate that's just, they're thinking of their shareholders, which I get. I've been in the investment world. That's what they do. But I don't know. I don't know if big corporate conglomerate and wrestling business can work together. But anyway, moving on. You don't care about that. Zelina Vega defeats Alba Fire. Andrade defeats Carmelo Hayes and Jacob Fatu in the Money in the Bank qualifier. Damian Priest cut a promo, showed respect to Drew McIntyre, but he did call out U.S. champ Jacob Fatu, so we're going to hopefully get a little segment there. Cody Rhodes returned, cut a promo, introduced Jey Uso, and then they were interrupted by John Cena. I don't like heel John Cena. He's not – I was hoping for like Dr. Thugonomics, not like corporate whiny person. he's almost like the crotchety old man. Like, stay off my lawn. Stay off my lawn, John Cena. He called Rhodes and Uso wannabes. Okay. And he started praising Logan Paul. Now, Logan Paul, I'm going to tell you this, phenomenal athlete. He's impressed me with all of his work in the ring. But you see all these other people, they got to go through NXT. They got to go through developmental, and now there's even more steps, LFG, Evolve, to get up WWE ID, NIL, all that. Jake, I get it. Logan Paul had a huge social media following, so he's just going to go straight to the top. But, I do not like that guy. I don't like him at all. Can't stand him, if you want to get real technical. We had AEW Collision. Yes, I'm going to talk a little bit about AEW. It's not really my cup of tea, but it's another form of wrestling, another form of entertainment. So I'm going to do my best. It's basically wrestling on ADD wrestling, I guess is the proper term. Claudio Castagnoli defeats Commander in an AEW International Championship qualifier. The Don Callis family defeats Tomohiro Ishii and Paragon. And then we had the AEW Continental Championship Eliminator. That's a lot of words. Kazuchika Okada defeats Anthony Bowen. See, they have a lot harder names to pronounce, but Okada is a good wrestler. I'll probably just keep calling him Okada because I can at least pronounce that. Then La Faction Inaugural defeated AR Fox and Top Flight in a 6-man tag. Mascara Dorada defeated Hishishiro in an AEW International Championship qualifier. That's a mouthful to say. Wow. Mina Shirakawa defeats Sky Blue. So, like I said, not a huge fan of AEW, but I've had some friends work for AEW, do some security work, backstage work. So I'm trying to give them their flyers. And you never know, TKO could just put WWE on the ground. AEW is the top dog now. Who knows? So you got to keep staying relevant talking about it. Monday Night Raw. I did get to catch that. I actually watched it semi-live. Opening segment, CM Punk kicked off the show. He took shots at The Rock, calling him a bald fraud and a goof, which, yeah, let me get on my high horse about The Rock. Not a fan anymore. I wasn't a fan in the 90s. I was a fan briefly in the early 2000s. And then when he got into acting, I was a huge fan right around until Fast and the Furious. Whenever he got in that franchise, him and Vin Diesel were not gelling. And then he comes back. He has to keep coming back. It's like he's just not – he wants to keep being in the limelight. And now that he came back as the final boss, I liked that character until I didn't like the character. Now that he's the board chairman or whatever, he's the boss. And it's just using that to his advantage. One thing that really irritated me about The Rock was back XFL. Yeah, it was still the XFL. In 2023, we went to a Battlehawks game. Battlehawks that's the biggest fan base at that time. I haven't really paid much attention since, but that was the biggest fan base at that time. Couldn't even show up to that. It was a home opener for the 2023 season. Couldn't show up. He's too busy. Just like he's too busy. He comes in, ruins John Cena's heel run. And now he's too busy to do stuff. I don't like The Rock. His tequila sucks. His energy drink sucks. Moving on. Sami Zayn interrupted Punk to focus on Money in the Bank and not worry about the Seth Rollins. You got a big match. We've got to move on. He said, we'll cross that bridge when you win the Money in the Bank about facing Jey Uso and all that. We'll have a different conversation. So we'll see what happens later on in the night. Stephanie Vaquer. I probably butchered her name, and I'm going to completely butcher her name until the day I die. Defeated Ivy Nile and Liv Morgan to win the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Pretty cool. She makes her debut on the main roster, wins, and is already – they strapped the rocket to her now. So she is going to be in the main event match, or Money in the Bank match, not main event match. Judgment Day defeats the War Raiders. Roxanne Perez distracted the War Raiders and allowed Finn Balor to hit the coup de grace on Ivar and get the dub. Roxanne Perez, is she going to be the newest member of the Judgment Day? Apparently they got a hole to fill since Carlito is gone. But Liv Morgan, not a fan. Roxanne was trying to give Dom some tendies a couple weeks ago, and you'll mess with the tendies now. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn defeat Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed via disqualification. Seth Rollins interfered, delivering some curb stomps. After the match, Reed attempted a tsunami on Zayn through a table. Woo! That's a big dude. Big dude right there. But CM Punk intervened with a steel chair to save Zayn. The skirmish got evaded, I don't know. But then backstage, Sami Zayn's hanging out. Karrion Kross shows up. And he's tempting Zayn to turn heel. So there was, I think it was on SmackDown, Sami Zayn's holding a chair like this. You got CM Punk here, and I think it was Jay. I can't remember. I got Shield vibes. I got when Seth turned, the Plan B. I got Plan B vibes. Is that going to happen to Zayn? We'll see. We're going to find out. And then Kairi Sane defeats Raquel Rodriguez. That kind of bit Liv Morgan in the butt because Finn wanted Roxanne to go with Raquel. Liv said, I'm going. Raquel loses. Maybe Liv Morgan's a bad luck guy. I'm not exactly sure. Then we had El Grande Americano defeated CM Punk and AJ Styles in the Money in the Bank qualifier. So CM Punk will not be in the Money in the Bank match. I'm sure he'll be at Money in the Bank in some form or fashion. Then we had a segment. I'm calling them Dangerous Alliance. Seth Rollins' faction. They don't know what they're called, so they're Dangerous Alliance because that's eventually what they're going to be. Paul Heyman hyped up Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as an unstoppable addition to the Rollins faction. You know, it's funny that Bronson Reed was just beat up. He tore up Seth Rollins in the past, just destroyed him. Now he's joined him. But people with Paul Heyman have success. Look at everybody that's been with Paul Heyman. So maybe bygones are bygones. We're going to get together, maybe have this new form of evolution, this new Dangerous Alliance, whatever you want to call it. But we'll see. Right now, that trio is unstoppable. You got Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as a tag team, air quote. It's a tough team. And then Gunther, he confronted Jey Uso in the locker room. They sat down side by side talking. You know, he praised his efforts as world champ, but thanks his heart. He said, Jey, you think with your heart, not your head. And I think any good person does think with their heart, not their head. And he said that's going to bite him. He's going to focus on saving his friends, and that's going to cost him at Money in the Bank. So that was Raw. I'm going to take a quick swig of coffee. All right. NXT on Tuesday night, the North American Championship Summit. Ethan Page, was out there cutting some stuff. He said his match at Worlds Collide is a farce. It's a farce. He was interrupted by Javon Evans, Laredo Kid. Evans vowed to take that title at Worlds Collide. Sean Legacy then showed up and said that he'd be next in line for a title shot after winning the Evolve title. But Vanity Project showed up and they backed Ethan Page. All the tension led to an 8-man tag later in the show. Then we have Dark State defeating Chase University as 6-man. Miles Bourne defeats Charlie Dempsey in the rounds match. I didn't know what that was, but I had to watch it and find out. Bourne won 2-1, earning his freedom from the No Quarter Catch crew. And then after the match, Bourne offered his hand in a handshake. Dempsey accepted, showed respect. They're still friends. It was a good match. It was a different match, so it was cool to see. But they're still buddies at the end. Tyra May Steele, the LFG Season 1 winner and Olympic gold medalist, made her debut on NXT and defeats Ariana Grace. Javon Evans, Laredo Kid, Dragon Lee, and Sean Legacy defeat Ethan Page and the Vanity Project in that 8-man tag that we talked about earlier. Dragon Lee makes his return to NXT. Glad to see him back. And then the main event, we had the TNA World Championship match. Trick Williams versus Mike Santana. It's a hard-hitting match. Trick Williams retains at the end of the night. The NXT, the whole crowd, dude, the whole universe, they were up, they were hyped, they were just having a good time. It was a great match. Trick then got into a confrontation with Elijah, TNA superstar Elijah, formerly known as Elias. Pulls his guitar out of the crowd and smashes it over the post, but it was all a distraction. It's all distraction because AJ Francis and Casey Navarro interject themselves into the match. They take out Mike Santana. AJ Francis choke slam on the announcer's table, which set up a trick shot later on, and Trick Williams does retain. I don't like this. He's disrespecting TNA title. I've been a TNA fan a long time. Even though you can't watch it on normal television, you have to have some super duper special network, super special Prime Star package. I just dated myself. I said Prime Star. That's DirecTV before DirecTV, kids. Then we had JC Jane. She did a title celebration. She was there with Fatal Influence. They were celebrating their title win over Stephanie Vaquer. They all won, it feels like. Laney Reed, Lola Vice, Jordan Grace, some other women come out and they make cases on why they should be the next title contestant, champion, challenger, whatever. Lights cut, blackout. Mariah May, former AEW star Mariah May, is up on the scissor lift, and she declares NXT's women's division just got a whole lot more glamorous. Yeah. So Mariah May's here. Is she going to be the next? Is she the number one contender? I don't know. Find out. Then we have NWA Power on Tuesday, which you can watch on X. Definitely check it out. It's got that old school vibe, and it's just fun. It's a fun atmosphere. The Colognes, they're in a fatal four-way, and this was for the Crockett Cup seed number 2, the number 2 seed of the Crockett Cup. Colognes beat Daisy Kill and Talos, the Immortals, and Blunt Force Trauma. Crazy Steve defeats Damian Finner. I probably butchered your name. Apologies. And then the main event, we had the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. Big Strong Men's retains against Wrecking Ball Legursky. How it happened was Jay Bradley comes in under a hood and hits Legursky with some sort of foreign object. We'll say it was pipe, brass knucks. It was something hard, knocked the dude out. And that was how NWA went off the air. And then on AEW Dynamite, Fyter Fest Night 1, we had the AEW International Championship. It was a fatal four-way. Kenny Omega puts his title on the line against Claudio, Brody King, and Mascara Dorada. Kenny Omega retains. He hits Dorada with a one-winged angel. After the match, Okada confronts Omega. A lot of O's in this sentence, and it's a little hard for me. I'm struggling a little bit. They start tussling. Okada almost eats a one-wing angel, but escapes. So we're getting something set up later on. And then Kevin Knight, Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Commander defeat La Faction Inaugural. And then Powerhouse Hobbs defeats Max Caster in an open challenge. And then in TNA, last night on Impact, which you can watch highlights on YouTube. You can go to Access. It's on Access. I don't have that channel. Indy Hartwell defeats Tasha Steelz. After the match, Mustafa Ali in a nice suit, like basically attacks Tasha Steelz, and then Jason Hotch intervenes, and then they kind of talk after the match. I think they're on maybe cooler. I don't know. Maybe a little tension's coming. TNA X Division Championship. Moose retained. She's downstairs. Moose retained his TNA X Division title against Eric Young. After the match, Eric Young attacked a fan. That behavior, he's snapping. He's getting crazy again. Hopefully he's not afraid of his pyro like he was 20 years ago. He's getting wild. He's getting crazy. Heather and Masha by Elegance defeat Harley Hudson and Mila Grace. And then we had a Monsters Ball match featuring 2 women, Zaya Brookside and Rosemary. Both competitors were locked in isolation for 24 hours with no food, water, or lights. So they were a little wild, a little crazy. Brookside, Rosemary's up on the second rope. Brookside's got a trash can lid, climbing up the second rope. Rosemary spits mist. Brookside blocks it with a trash can lid and then hits the Brooksy bomb through multiple steel chairs. She wins her first ever Monster Balls match. Monsters Ball, not Monster Balls. Monsters Ball match. Then we had a 6-man tag. Leon Slater, Matt Hardy, and Mike Santana defeat the Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian. And then Joe Hendry speaks since losing his title in NXT. He apologizes for letting the fans down. He said the title is now held by someone who doesn't appreciate TNA's history. That's pretty true. Trick and A, as he's been calling it. Only really cares about TNA too much. Elijah spoke about his upcoming TNA World Championship match against Trick Williams and against all odds. Santino Marella came out and cut a promo, poured his heart out, addressing the high stakes in this match he has against Robert Stone. Robert Stone then interrupts, vowing to ban Marella from TNA forever once he becomes the Director of Authority. Authority! Mance Warner and Steph DeLander, they declared their pursuit of Steve Maclin's International Championship. So we've got some things heating up, and we will talk more about it in the looking ahead section. But now we have Dinerverse news. Here we go. NWA JCP Southeast, episode 66. You can watch on JCP's YouTube channel. Dalton McKenzie, yes, the guy that said I eat corn the long way, defeats Zuka King. Congratulations. We jump to OVW on Overdrive, and Yalaka, Risk, and Maddie the American Baddie defeat Noel Summit and Carter Kaufman. Los Desafios defeat the Trifecta. Shockingly, Donis got rolled up, but it looked like the ref, I don't know if the ref got the 1, 2, 3. It looked like 1, 2, ring the bell, screw over the Trifecta. I don't know though. Could be wrong. But that's what I saw with my own 2 eyes. You can check that out at OVW's YouTube channel. Then last night we had OVW Rise. Excuse me. Got emotional. Not really. I just got a cold. Sleep in a hotel. I don't sleep good. I've been up since 4:30, and my nose sucks. OVW Rise. Super Z defeats Elijah Eros. Lovely Miss Larkin and Sophia Rose defeat Angelica. Sorry, don't hurt me. Risk and Maddie the American Baddie. And then a funny few segments, at least to me it was funny. I know it's war to them. Mammoth Donovan Cecil and Jack Vaughn are playing games backstage, playing Connect 4, playing Twister, things of that nature. Really trying to get that competitive advantage on each other. We'll see what happens in the future. Now we're going to look ahead. Tonight on SmackDown. That's tonight on USA. One match has been announced already. Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, and Stephanie Vaquer versus Naomi, Julia, and Roxanne Perez. Also tonight, we have TNA against all odds. We have Joe Hendry versus Kazarian. And then we have the winner becomes TNA Director of Authority. Santino Marella versus Robert Stone. We have TNA International Championship. Steve Maclin defends against Mance Warner. TNA World Tag Team Championship. The Nemeth take on the Rascals. Then we have TNA Knockouts World Championship. Masha Slamovich versus Lei Ying Li. I have to say that like this, or I will butcher the name. Then TNA World Championship. Trick Williams takes on Elijah. So we're going to do some pick'ems right now. So Joe Hendry's going to defeat Kazarian. Santino Marella will still be TNA Director of Authority. Steve Maclin retains. The Nemeth retain. Masha retains. I'm going to go with Trick Williams retaining. There's going to be no title changes all night tonight. I probably am wrong, but that's my pick'ems. Also tonight, National Wrestling Alliance Joe Kazana Promotions have the Caldwell Cup down in Tennessee. And then, what we got down here? Let me get my graphics. Breaking news. Where's that? I don't have it. I forgot to post the graphic. Singleton Wrestling's Mirror Melee has been canceled due to flood conditions. They've canceled the entire Choctaw Festival. So, moving on. They will not be in action this weekend. We have also on the 7th, WWE Money in the Bank. We got the men's Money in the Bank match. Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and El Grande Americano. And the winner is granted a world championship match of the winner's choice, cashable at any time within 1 year. I'm sure a lot of my wrestling fans already know that, but if there's a new person listening, that's how the Money in the Bank works. We have the women's Money in the Bank match. Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Vaquer. Then we have a tag match. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso take on Cena and Paul. Then the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria takes on Becky Lynch. There is a stipulation on this. If Lynch loses, she can no longer challenge for the title as long as Valkyria is champion. So, let's get to our pick'ems. Money in the Bank winner. I hate to say it. It's going to be Seth Rollins. Women's Money in the Bank winner. It's going to be, I'm going Stephanie Vaquer. She's hot right now. So they're going to keep pushing her. They're going to strap that rocket ship to her. She's going to win the Money in the Bank and then win the title. I don't know which title, but she's going to win the title. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso will beat John Cena and Logan Paul. For the love of God, I hope so. And then Lyra Valkyria will retain her Intercontinental title. Also, tomorrow, we have AAA WWE Worlds Collide. I'm excited for this match. Are they going to have a 6-sided ring? Or are they going to have a 4-sided ring? That's my main question I have. Probably 4-sided, but I can hope. We have a 6-man tag, the LWO versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice versus Dalys and Chik Tormenta. Stephanie Vaquer is going to be busy this weekend. Just throwing that out there. 6-man tag, Legado del Fantasma versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner, Junior Psycho Clown, and Pagano. And I totally butchered Hijo's name. Let me give me one more time. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. There we go. Got it. We have the NXT North American Championship, Ethan Page versus Javon Evans, Ray Phoenix, and Laredo Kid. And then the AAA Mega Championship, El Hijo de Vikingo versus Chad Gable. You know, I'm surprised they got Chad Gable and not El Grande Americano. Because, you know, they're the same person. I know Pat McAfee says they're not, but they are. I agree with Michael Cole for the first time in my life. Chad Gable is El Grande Americano. Mark it down. All right, so our pick'ems. I'm going to go with LWO. Latino World Order. Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice. And then we're going to go Dr. Wagner Jr., Psycho Clown, and Pagano. Ethan Page retains Vikingo. There's my pick'ems on that. Also tomorrow, GCW's Tournament of Survival 10 and National Wrestling Alliance World League Wrestling Overdrive. That's a busy Saturday. That's a lot of stuff. And then June 8th, GCW Cage of Survival 4. June 14th, OVW Hard Reset. On the 20th, we have GCW Banging in Little Rock. And then on the 21st, just announced the Shelburne Showdown brought to you by Singleton Wrestling. I can't wait for that. That is a free show in Shelburne, Indiana. Be sure to go to attend. I was just going to get your tickets, but you don't need tickets. Just show up. Bring a chair. Probably need a chair, though. On the 22nd, we have GCW Take a Picture 25. And then on June 26th, Major League Wrestling, Summer of the Beast. One match has already been announced. MLW World Heavyweight Champion Matt Riddle takes on Kenta. On the 27th, we have NWA Chicago Endless Summer 2. On the 28th, we have WWE Night of Champions. And also, more importantly, WWE Night of Champions is cool, but more importantly, Singleton Wrestling Ultimate Rumble. You won't want to miss that. There it is. Like last year, Diner Pod Championship was on the line in the Ultimate Rumble. This year, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We have some matches for that already announced. We have the Diner Pod Championship. Champion Hijo de Appalachia takes on BEA's Avery Hertz. We have Rachel Lay debuting, taking on BEA's Carter Kaufman. Noelle Summit debuting, taking on Layla Hall. We have Logan Myers taking on Jake Oman. And the other graphic did not make it. But we have our Singleton Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Sam Knight defends against Christian Rose. Mr. H had to get in big, serious contract talk. Sorry, I had gum on my glasses. It freaked me out. He got Christian Rose come down. Here we go. Dream matchup. Justice Shoemaker's dream matchup. There you go, Justice. Get your tickets. Also, you want to be a Rumble sponsor. You can sponsor an entrant for $40 or be the match sponsor for $75. Here's all that you get with that. We already have some event sponsors. And because you're an event sponsor, I will throw your graphic up now. So thank you for sponsoring Singleton Wrestling. First up, we have Skelton's Tree Service, Work One, Western Indiana, Fairway Mortgage, Campbell Lending Group, Retta Jeans Cafe, and Long's Lawn Care and Home Improvement. So thank you to everybody who sponsored. Once again, if you are interested in being a Rumble sponsor, a participant sponsor, or even the match sponsor, please reach out to either Singleton Wrestling or the Diner Pod, and we will get you squared away. Last year's sponsors, be prepared. I'm going to reach out to you. So with that, we're out of here. Keep pushing. Love y'all. See you.